Hey everybody, welcome to Empower, a faith-based initiative designed to enlighten, empower, and embolden women of all ages to come into agreement with our God-given purpose in the earth. I'm your host, Kim, and I'm so glad you joined me today. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've been here before, we're family now, sis. Let's get right into today's topic, which is one that is going to be a little more, educational and more fact-based and kind of, more serious. Today's the first day of Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. And I found out something that I wanted to share with you, and then we'll discuss a little bit of our topic today. Which is because I'm a Black woman. Our topic is because I'm a Black woman. Every year, the Association for the Study of African American Life and History picks a theme for Black History Month. And just as a heads up, I'm going to be looking down at my notes a little bit today. For this episode. But that association picked the theme for this Black History Month for 2021 as the Black family, representation, identity, and diversity. And when I was researching what the theme was for this year, I was a little disheartened at first, because I said, why is there a need to have a theme about the Black family? Why is that necessary? And then I realized it's because of the times that we live in. I can only speak for myself. So everything that I say, unless I specifically say otherwise, is going to be about my experience and what I've noticed. And what I have noticed is a lot of times the Black family isn't necessarily highlighted for positive reasons. There are a lot of things that people say that are negative. There are a lot of negative depictions in the media that get highlighted about the Black family, but that, of course, is not what we're talking about today. And I wanted to talk specifically about the Black woman within the Black family. So this is the part where I have to define some words. If y'all have been here before, you know I don't like to go into things just assuming that everyone knows the definition. I want to make sure that we are from the top understanding what definition it is that I'm referring to as we begin our conversation. So the first thing we want to talk about is, what is a family? A family is a group of one or more parents and children living together as a unit. Simple. It was seen that would be understood, but the need to highlight the Black family by the Association for the Study of African American Life and History speaks to the need that maybe some people need to understand what family means. It also means descendants of a common ancestor. Descendants of a common ancestor. The second part of the focus for this month is representation, identity, and diversity. So I'll go ahead and define those as well. Representation is a description or portrayal of someone or something in a particular way. And as I stated at the beginning of this, we all know that negative attention is brought on so many aspects of the Black family. So this theme for this month is a highlight of those things that make up a Black family, not the things that people hear about and are whisper behind their hands and say in hushed, tones when nobody's looking, or sometimes now, as we know, they just bold and say whatever they want to say. But we have to participate in our representation and how we are perceived. And although we can't change a person's perception, once we recognize how we're being perceived, we can do something to do our best to change that narrative. Second word, identity. The fact of being who or what a person or thing is. It's being who you are or what you are. I'm a Black woman. Diversity is simply the state of variety. There's more than one thing. There's more than one way to make up a Black family. There's more than one way to be a Black woman. There's more than one way to be a Black man. It's unique to you. And so as I was studying and reading and researching, which is one of my favorite things to do, I came across this article that was published last year. And I wanted to read a little bit of it so that we could have a bit of a conversation. And it's talking about intersectional invisibility. And let's define intersectional, okay? It's the acknowledgement that everyone has their own unique experiences of discrimination and oppression, and we must consider everything and anything that can marginalize people: gender, race, class, orientation, physical ability, etc. So these are all of the things that come together to make up who we are. The sections of us that intersect, that come together, that cross ways. And invisibility simply means unable to be seen. Now, I'm going to read a little bit of this article, and then we'll talk about why the title of this episode is Because I'm a Black Woman. This article is a snippet of the article entitled Intersectional Invisibility Revisited: How Group Prototypes Lead to the Erasure and Exclusion of Black Women. It was in the Translational Issues in Psychological Science, published last year in July. So I'm just going to read a little bit. Like I said, this episode is going to be a little more educational at the top. This article bothered me, and I'm going to read it so you can understand. It says, Black women are often less likely to be associated with the concept of a typical woman and are viewed as more similar to Black men than to white women, which may lead to some anti-racist and feminist movements failing to advocate for the rights of Black women, according to research published by the American Psychological Association. Black women are often overlooked in people's conversations about racism and sexism, even though they face a unique combination of both of these forms of discrimination simultaneously. This intersectional invisibility means that movements that are supposed to help Black women may actually be contributing to their marginalization. The operative word here is how similar to other groups Black women are is more Black and less women. Now, there's a study that was conducted, and it says 3 out of 4 of the study participants were white, 8% were Black, 8% Hispanic, and 5% were Asian. But what the responses showed is that Black women were more closely identified with Black men than white women. So in other words, they're Black. Our Black speaks more than our womanhood. And if you've been in the workforce, or you've competed for an audition for something, if you're a young girl, if you have been pretty much alive for a while and are aware of what's going on in the world, you've probably experienced this. And what's amazing to me, not that I don't want to be identified with my Black men, because that's fine, but when it comes down to if I'm a woman or if I'm a black woman, I'm largely seen as a black woman. I'm more closely relatable to people who don't look like me as black as opposed to female. And this is why there has to be a month, a theme for a month that talks about the black family, that talks about the fact that black women, and again, as I stated already, I'm not discounting any other race or what any other woman has experienced or is able or capable to do. But I'm a black woman, so I can speak only on that. But black women have been put upon by society to take the brunt of so much. While women are a minority in and of ourselves, being a black woman, that double minority status, that's what we get perceived. That's what's seen first. We get perceived as you're a woman. We get valued, because it's not about perception. We get valued as you're a woman, but before you're a woman, you're black. And while yes, we can take pride in that, and yes, we should take pride in that, because that's who God made us. Why is it that I have to fight two battles? Why is it that, as this research is stating, that there are some movements that will fail to advocate for black women to have rights because they associate us with black men who we know what their perception of black men is. And it's 2021. And this is still a conversation that is relevant and that we need to have. And this is why it's so important for me personally that I continue to do what I'm doing. Because we cannot allow ourselves to be defined and left to what larger society thinks we are. This is why it's important to me, and it always has been, that any girl or woman that I have the opportunity to speak to at any length, I want them to know who they are. It's important to me that if you're watching this, that you know you're who God created you to be. You're not who society says you are. You're not who your parents say you are. You're not who anyone says you are except who God said you are. God is the one who made you and created you, who thought about you, who gave you your unique talents, your skill set, your smile, your ability to put an outfit together, your ability to wear it like nobody's business. He's the one who did that. And so it's disturbing to me that we have to feel like we have to fight to be seen. But this is one thing that I know. And I want to remind you of and inform you of and celebrate with you, because God made you a black woman or a black girl. And no, this platform isn't just for blacks, but it's Black History Month. So, hey. But God made you. God made you. And he made you in his image and in his likeness. He gave you characteristics that he has. We're inventive. We're strong. We're resilient. We're resourceful. We're smart. We're intuitive. We're capable. We're skilled. We're quick learners. We're inventors. We're entrepreneurs. We're police women. We're firefighters. We're politicians. We're the Vice President of America. We're so many things. And so I don't want you to feel unseen. I don't want you to think that because other people will overlook us in their conversations, that you should overlook yourself. That if you're raising a little black girl or a little black boy, that you should not highlight the fact that they come from good stock, that they're good children, that they're smart, that they're brilliant, that they're capable, that they are who God called them to be. They are who God made them to be. So that deserves a celebration. So while, yes, we need to continue to advocate for rights and representation and recognition, know that the one who really matters knows who you are. Know that the one who really has the final say knows who you are. He made you the way he wanted you to be. And that we were chosen to be black is an honor. And I don't want anyone to ever feel like it's not. I remember when I was younger, you know, we were raised mostly in Germany, largely in Germany. My dad was in the army. And so we were in a military community, and me and my sister, that's what I'm talking about. If you haven't been here before and watched a video or two. So we were used to seeing all races and playing with the kids that don't look like it. It didn't occur to us. I'm not going to say that we didn't see color. We didn't know that there was a reason why that should matter. And so we went back to the States, and we were picked on, we were ridiculed, we were made fun of because we talked white, and we didn't know what in the world, what does that mean? We're just Nikki and Tina. We didn't know about anything else. And the fact that this is still a conversation all these years later for my 7-year-old daughter and my 15-year-old niece to still be dealing with this, for there to actually be studies being conducted where people won't even identify and recognize that there's something wrong with this. Yes, it's good to have the information, but now what? The truth is, we've got to advocate for ourselves. We've got to stand up for ourselves. We've got to be visible. We've got to be seen. We've got to be heard. And the amazing thing about that is God gave you your unique voice, your unique skill, your unique way to get this information out. That I'm who he made me to be. I'm not inferior to anyone, because God didn't make me inferior. It's important that you believe that. It's important that you hear it. It's important that you reinforce it. It's important that you share that information, that message, that narrative, that you tell it, that you say it loud and proud. God didn't make any mistakes. God made you who he wanted you to be. And because I'm a black woman with this camera today and empower as my God-given purpose, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that every single woman and girl that I come into contact with stands on the fact that they are who God made them to be. They're not who society says. And that's not just black women. That's brown women. That's white women. That's every woman. That's every man. That's every boy and girl. That God made you. God made you. And what we have to stand on is the fact that the way he made us and the fact that he made us is important. That we have a purpose, that we have a meaning. And that because I'm a black woman, I'm fierce and I'm something to be reckoned with. And because I'm his child, I'm victorious, I'm a winner. I'm all of those things. I'm confident in him. No, I'm not stuck up, and no, I'm not conceited. I'm confident now in who God has made me to be. And so I just wanted to leave this with you because this conversation, this topic, it's too big for us to cover in probably a year of episodes. But I hope that it sparked something in you, a little bit to say, hey, what can I do to fix this? How can I help my circle of influence to know, hey, we're not less than. We're not. We came here already amazing. That was who I was when I came. And now getting you to understand that might be a little bit more effort. But I believe it. I know it. Because I'm a Black woman. So, thanks so much for joining me for today's episode. I hope it gave you something to think about, something to consider. I'd love to have you join me again next Monday. I do upload every Monday. You can find previous episodes on Facebook at facebook.com/empower, MPOWHER, or on IG, Instagram, at empowerher540, MPOWHER540, and on YouTube by typing empower in the search bar, because I am not there where you can, I don't have a specialized URL yet, but it is coming. So if you enjoyed what you heard, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have this conversation in your group of friends, with your children, with your spouse, with whomever, with everyone. That we are who God made us to be. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. So thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.